Hey,
Hi,
my name is Ijeoma.
my name is Ifeoma.
So, Ifeoma, it's Christmas. Beautiful light.
Everything nice.
Yeah, Christmas is actually an amazing period where families come together. You know, some people don't even get to see their siblings for a whole year. And it's this Christmas they come together to meet up, catch up.
It's just like a time for reunion. Like people get to
family reunion.
meet with their family members
One
they've not
night.
seen for a year. So everybody is happy. But then, is everybody happy?
Not really. I read a post this morning on Facebook. Somebody was talking about how her brother-in-law died.
Wow.
And, the wife wasn't even aware. But some persons on Facebook, I think the man had an accident, that some persons on Facebook saw it and they recorded and sent on Facebook.
Wow.
And they had to go beg them to bring it down because the wife still doesn't know. She was on transit. So she still doesn't know. So even with this beautiful period, people are anticipating going home to their parents, to their children,
There are still people that grieve.
Grief.
Exactly. So we are going to be talking about grief today. And we are talking about grief in order to remind people that grieve that it's okay to grieve. And then you're not alone. And it's going to be over someday.
It's going to be fine.
Ijeoma, can you help us define grief?
Grief is a natural response to an unpleasant situation. Grief is that reaction that people give when something unpleasant happens.
Exactly, like crying, like being in shock, shouting about something, like shouting. Yeah. So that's just it for the definition of grief.
Grief. So, what do you think of this thing that grief?
Well, a lot of people think death can be the only reason why people grieve.
It's not, but I think it's one intense.
Yeah, it is.
And it's common.
But then there are many other things that cause grief in people's lives, and they include maybe someone lost a job.
Oh yeah,
or a lost relationship, like
divorce.
Marriage, exactly, or maybe something unexpected happened. Maybe you wanted to be promoted to a higher rank and then you weren't. It could cause you to grief. Again, people giving birth to children with disability, and then the grief over it, like, oh my God, I don't believe my child is like this. Oh my God, why is it that Mrs. A has a good child, has a child without disability? They begin to compare their children with others, when actually those children are children with special needs, not children with disability. Okay, the layman call them children with disability, but we call them people with special needs. You know why? Because there are people who need special attention. So you don't really need to grieve over it. It's not easy not to grieve. You get angry over something and you feel pained about it, but then you have to get over it, because grieving never brings solution to problem. So as we have talked about things that cause people to grieve, can we talk about different ways that people can actually grieve? What are those ways, Ijeoma? Like, can you help us with ways people can grieve?
Individual differences.
Okay.
Some persons are quiet, some persons are loud.
Okay.
That's the same way people are even in grieving. Some people are okay grieving silently. They want to be excluded from other persons. They want to be on their own. They just want to grieve quietly on their room. While other persons just want to come around, they want to just tell anyone that cares to listen.
Exactly.
See, I'm grieving my cow. My cow just died, and you just want to tell anyone.
Exactly. Like maybe someone loses a loved one, and then not just crying, but then the person goes around posting that person he or she lost on social media several times. Oh my God, I don't believe this happened. Oh my God, oh Black Friday, oh God, rest in peace.
And then bring us to the expectations of society for persons grieving.
Yeah, the society. You know, there is a way the society expects people to grieve.
There's always an expectation generally.
Yeah,
they expect you. You're done with final year.
They expect exactly like we don't meet up to those expectations because there are things that happen by nature.
And society include me and you.
Yeah, exactly.
So we should
actually allow people to grieve in their own way.
Don't judge them.
Yeah, don't expect someone to grieve in the way that you do or in the way that you feel they should. For example, there was this lady that lost someone, and while everyone was crying, she just sat looking into the air, not talking to anybody, just in shock. She wasn't doing anything. She wasn't crying. And then people were like wondering, why is she not crying? Is it that she's not pained by what happened? In fact, is it that she didn't hear what happened? So people expect her to cry at that moment because she heard that someone died. But then she's in more pain than you that is crying because you don't know what she's going through by being in shock and not being able to talk. So people have a lot of ways that they grieve, and then the society shouldn't expect them to do it in the way that they want, but try to
them.
Yeah, allow them to grieve. Yeah, in their own way.
Yeah.
So how can we get over this grief? Because we are not supposed to be grieving for so long. Grief is not a good thing, and we should have a way to get over it. We shouldn't keep grieving because it can actually take, in the process, it can take your life. It can spoil a lot of things. So it can take the best part of you, and you're not able to achieve anything. So how do we get over grief? Those things that made us grieve actually.
Okay, I think we should understand that when we encounter situations that we don't have control over, we should choose a better option. Okay. If something bad happens, if I lose a relationship, I should know, okay, fine, I lost it and
there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. In a case where there was obviously nothing to happen about it, nothing could be done about it. I just have to move on because they say there is light at the end of the tunnel. So how will you even know if you don't go forward?
Exactly.
How would you even know there is light and then go forward?
You don't have to blame yourself about what has happened.
Yeah, I was actually coming to that. Like, I want you to just choose the good one.
Yeah, that's the only way. That's the only way you can get over it. If you don't move on, you stick to the past, and then you are never going to be better. You just stick to the past and you keep feeling that same thing. So you just have to move on, and then you don't have to blame yourself.
Okay, when you grieve, your peace is affected. And when your peace is affected, your mental health is at stake.
Exactly.
If your mental health is not health, if you don't have an healthy mental health, you cannot do so much. Your goal will be on standstill, your dream will be on standstill, you will just be there. And it's not good for business.
Exactly.
It's not good for business. There's so much to explore. And if eventually it's actually the grieving came as a result of losing a loved one, I don't think that loved one will like us grieving that long.
Yeah.
I don't think they will be.
Wherever they are, they will be like,
they want us to move on and
please stop crying. But then you on earth, you think the best thing to do is to keep being in pain, and it's not good.
One of the ways that you can actually get over this grieving is take the blame away. It's okay if there was something you could have said that could have saved the situation. It's okay if you had.
You don't have to blame yourself. You don't have to say, I should have done this.
I should have done better.
Maybe I should have
bought wrapper for his mother.
Maybe I should have told her this. Maybe I should have rushed to the park and picked her up before she took a bike and had an accident and died. Maybe I should have. You shouldn't have, because it happened the way it was supposed to happen.
And it's gone.
And even if it wasn't supposed to happen that way,
but it happened.
It has happened, and you have to get over it.
Choose peace.
Yeah. And then your approach towards whatever it is that caused you grief is very crucial. You don't have to let whatever it is that happened to get into you, because it could actually kill you in the process.
Yeah, how? Okay.
Yeah, there is an old woman. I was in a hospital one certain time. So the woman.
So this was a first-hand experience.
Yeah, the woman. I kept hearing someone.
So isn't that she committed suicide?
No. She was like unconscious at first, and then while regaining her consciousness, she was always making this sound.
But what really happened to her?
Yeah, she lost her child. She traveled, so wherever she was called that she should come back home, that she lost her child. So out of shock, she lost consciousness. She entered coma. She was in coma for a very long time. And then, while in the hospital, she regained her consciousness, but she was still grieving over the child. Her approach towards it was very bad. And do you know what happened? She died. So imagine losing your life in the process of grieving
for somebody, grieving for a relationship.
Do you think when you meet that person, the person is going to be happy with you? The person will feel like sending you back to wherever you're coming from.
Yeah.
So it's not bad to grieve, but then you have to find a way to get over it.
Yeah.
And that's by not blaming yourself,
forgiving
yourself,
everything that happened,
forgiving whoever it is you think caused it, and then try not to get it into your heart too much. Even though you love the person so much, you don't believe the person can die. Of course, everybody will die, but then you don't believe the person can die. You just have to get over it, unless you lose yourself in the process. So,
and also there is a place of the Holy Spirit helping us. Yeah, He's our comforter.
Exactly.
You know, when our Lord Jesus Christ was going to heaven, He said He was going to send us. He was going to send. He told the disciples He was going to send them comfort, and the Holy Spirit is the highest comforter. You will be shocked how He will help you.
If you've never experienced Him, I guess you should try it. Call Him whenever you're in pain. Call upon the Holy Spirit. Pray. You know, you can do anything, but then prayer is very important. When you pray over something that is making you grief, you might be surprised the way Holy Spirit will take control.
So to everyone grieving,
we know it's not easy.
You understand the pain.
Yeah.
You understand the whole blaming.
Exactly.
You understand the whole unforgiveness thing.
Exactly.
But we think the right thing you should do is to choose healing. And healing doesn't mean that the pain is no longer there. It means that pain does not control you.
Exactly. You should be in control.
Grief has a control. Grief has the ability to control somebody.
Exactly. Even though it's not it will just take over you, everything about you, your activities, your life, and then you be like a slave to grief. Don't allow grief enslave you. You have to be in control all the time.
So we said that if you want to overcome grief, you have to stop blaming yourself, forgive yourself. If there's anything that went wrong in the process, forgive yourself, and
don't allow it get into your heart so that you can get over it. And then don't allow it to last for so long.
Above all, choose the Holy Spirit. Choose healing,
and
the Holy Spirit helps us heal.
Exactly.
Then choose healing.
Exactly.
Choose healing, because if you ask you what do you want, choose healing.
So I hope we taught you something. I hope you learned something from this. And you can choose to tell us anything we missed.
If you have any
You
question,
can contribute to
any confusion, anything that is
any
confusing you.
contribution. Feel free. All right. Bye.